Hello, Santiago Daneyko. How are you today? Thank you for being here.
Hello, it's a pleasure. Yeah, fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm delighted having you here, and I was very happy to hear your music the other day in here in la Casa de la Cultura here in San Lorenzo del Escorial. The first time that I saw you, and the first time that I heard your music, you play a violin that
Mhm.
day. And did you play any other instrument? Can you tell us who you are and what do you do?
Yes, well, I play the violin, which is my main instrument, and so to say it. But I also play the piano, and because musicians, especially the ones that play melodic instruments or instruments that usually play the melodic lines or more like a voice, right? We those musicians need to learn harmonic instruments like the piano to just to know a little bit how how it goes, and harmony is quite an important part of everything in music. I mean, it's one of the main parts actually. So, and I also played the flute when I was I don't remember. Yeah, 7 years old. I mean, for 4 years more or less the transversal flute, and yeah. But my main instrument is a violin.
Beautiful. I'll always envy people that are able to play very well one instrument. I only play a little bit of piano that my grandmother taught me how to play, and she's still playing. And I play a little bit of guitar, but I'm sure I need more lessons, because I started with 8 years old, but I just play by hearing. I'm really
Mhm.
I didn't study any harmony at all, but I know very well how to appreciate people that are playing very well instruments. So
Yeah, thank you so much.
yeah,
Yeah, but it's never late. You can always learn.
yeah, it's a work of process as well. The language music, I always say, is the international language, and I have always noticed that people like you that play instruments are likely to be better at speaking more languages. And in your case, can you tell us how is it that you have so fantastic English?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, actually, I think it was a teacher that I had at high school that encouraged me to learn, because I was able to speak English, but I didn't speak so well. And he he taught me the phonetical alphabet as well, and made us. I mean that was optional, but the ones that we wanted to record a text or with a phonetical transcription as well, we sent the recording to him, and he corrected us, and that's the way we worked. And I worked in my pronunciation, and also, as you said, by hearing a lot of videos or um, monologues as well, or series or movies. Always you. I mean, when you are like uh, trying to learn and learning new expressions, you just write down stuff and then go and check them. And so it's the way I learned. Yeah.
Exactly, that's exactly what we do as well in my lessons. I work a lot with the recordings that I ask them to read some pages and then I correct through through WhatsApp or sometimes through email. I correct them the pronunciation, and it's essential. Just what you have said, the phonetical alphabet is
Yeah.
essential. That gives you the rock that can also be used for other languages as well. And
Yeah.
in
Absolutely.
case you know other languages, what other languages do you know and why?
Yeah. Well, I speak a little bit of German, but actually I've forgotten quite a lot because I took lessons as well, but my grandfather is German, and well, he has an Ukrainian his family is he has an Ukrainian background, and but they were German actually, and he has got a German nationality, and he's bilingual as well, and he also speaks like about 5 languages or so, because he yeah and also, but I actually I have to work on my German because I've forgotten a lot, and also couple of stuff about other languages like Italian or French, but I don't actually speak them. Just in music, there are lots of musical expressions and stuff written on
Like
the
Allegro,
boards.
yes, like
Yeah,
Allegro, yes.
yeah, like Allegro and Adagio or Plus lent jusqu'à la fin or
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that. Depending on the composer as well and composer's nationality, and just that.
Yes, it's true. And the good thing about listening to, for example, movies or someone talking in that language, in Italian, for example, I think it's easier for us. For Spanish people, for example, it's very easy to access to Italian, at least by hearing. Then later, the writing or the grammar, I know that gets tougher and tougher, and when you get deeper into the language. But it's true that it's kind of very. It has a lot of music as well. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely.
and French, I adore French, but it's very complicated to speak well French.
Yeah,
The accent to me is kind of very difficult, the most difficult of all the
yeah,
languages I have tried.
yeah. Pronunciation is I mean quite difficult. Yeah,
But I can also see myself when I hear people talking in French. It's like what kind of beautiful sound is this? I can kind of be immersed in that sound, and it's involving me. It's incredible the power of the sound of a foreign
absolutely.
language. To people like you, that you are a musician and that you appreciate the music of the language. I think that is a beautiful kind of, it's almost like a contemplative kind of way, just with your hearing.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Beautiful. So shall we start reading this scene and comment? Do you want that I comment where exactly is the scene in the script and everything, and then we
Yeah,
start? So we
perfect.
are reading, as you know, guys, we are reading from this script, 1994, Little Women, and we are going to read a scene that appears in the third act on the page 90, 91, and 92, just in case you have the the script and you are with me. And so what we are going to do is to read it. As always, I always say that we will be reading, and then we will comment some of the words that Santiago is going to be commenting and explaining throughout the reading. And the scene is a meeting where Joe is already in New York, and it's a meeting that Professor Friedrich Bhaer has already organized with some friends. So the meeting is kind of a initiation of Joe into the social events or political meetings. We don't know exactly what kind of event it is, but it's kind of a social event, but intimate as well. So not with a lot of people, just a few of them are discussing relevant and important issues of the time about women participating or not in the suffrage. Um, so we will be commenting that throughout the reading and at the end. Shall we start?
Yeah, perfect.
Good.
Yeah. Interior Bears Rooms, Kirk House, New York. Night. Frederick Bear students sprawl on bare sofas and rugs, engrossed in lively discourse and drinking wine. Joe sits, feeling awkward and out of place, and ignored. Jacob Mayer. But if it is widely acknowledged that women bring a civilizing influence to society, remember that women actually it's pronounced differently than its singular form, which would be a woman. and you have that different kind of pronunciation, women and woman. And also civilizing, we have three I's in that word, those three letters, and the first two are pronounced as an A. I mean civilizing, and the third one is like I civilizing, right? Child spots, dry wit. Female influence is so widely felt that to give her suffrage as well would create an imbalance of power. Laughter. Friedrich Bhaer, which actually would be the more or less Friedrich Bhaer, the German way to pronounce it, but here we pronounce it like Friedrich Bhaer in English, notices that Joe is quiet. He fills the wine glass and motions. Drink. Joe hesitates and refuses. Bhaer leans to her and whispers, his face close. Friedrich Bhaer. It's good. You don't take wine?
Joe March, only medicinally.
He shrugs and generously pours a little more in a glass. Friedrich Bhaer. Pretend that you have a cold. With a smile, Bhaer turns his attention to the conversation. Joe attentively tastes the wine. It is very good. John McCracken. In truth, a woman has no need of suffrage if she has a husband. James Jones. And if she has no husband? John McCracken. Let her marry. Charles Potts. Civilization requires it. Consider California, where women are few. Men have rapidly gone back to barbarism. And here, those words that ends with that suffix, barbarism, or I don't know,
Modernism.
modernism, yeah, are not pronounced like, I mean, there's like a barbarism. You have to really pronounce those with with a schwa vowel, little schwa vowel. I mean, a sound between the two consonants. Barbarism. Really pronounce the S and the M.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Jo, sipping her wine, starts to speak, but is interrupted.
Okay, I'm just going to comment one thing that has just come to my mind
Uh-huh.
about why she's saying that that only she takes wine medicinally. Can I explain that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Do you know why?
No. But I didn't know if you were asking me or to explain it or just if
If
you
you
were.
know, if you guess, can you guess why she says that she only takes wine medicinally?
I can guess that, but I'm not sure if I am right or not. That it has to do with perhaps a matter of roles in society, right? Or that women are supposed to, but I'm not sure, drink
Well,
like
that's
alcohol.
also included. That's right. It's also included that the pack see, the social convenience or social protocol of women not drinking too much in society or to the view of everyone.
Uh,
That archetype actually changed completely my mind when I was living in Dublin. In Dublin was the first time I saw women literally drunk because here in Spain we have a completely different. Bueno, it depends how old is a woman, right? But
mhm.
it's true. Probably her answer is because of that, plus something very practical, which is that wine or any orujo or any kind of strong alcohol can help women with their menstruation
Yeah.
the day of the period. So that's why she says only medicinally, and we know that in her family, her mother she is always creating this kind of medicinal tinctures or words to help people with their pain. And we know that in her family this is what happens. No, that's how she has probably tasted before wine, but only medicinally, because they are all women except the father. All of them are women, and it's interesting to know. It's not said, but it's behind. And it's the first time she's going to enjoy wine, not because she has a pain, but because she is sharing with the rest in a social event.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. But is that still done, or
yeah, my grandmother, every time that I say I have a lot of pain the day of my period, she always said, just take a little bit, a sip of orujo or something strong, you know. Know, that's the way that they had to really control their problem.
Yeah.
And actually, we are not far away from that, in the sense that all the tinctures that we produce with the herbs, for example, Hinebitex is one that all women of all ages are taking, and it's something natural because it's a kind of plant that we know it helps a lot with all the hormonal imbalance hormonals that can happen, and with the pain, and it's produced and it's created with alcohol.
All right.
So you take the medicine plus the alcohol, and that is obviously helping us.
Yeah. So it might be true, right? That it helps.
It is true. It is true.
It's true. Oh, yeah. Yeah, another kind of. Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry for interrupting you.
No, not at all. I mean, quite an interesting thing. Yeah. Jacob Mayer. If women are a moral and civilizing force, shouldn't they govern and preach and have the right to testify in courts? Over the burst of ridicule that greets this, Joe tries again. Friedrich Bhaer. What is it, Miss March? Joe is disconcerted as all eyes turn to her, challenging.
Joe March, I think it's poor logic to say that because women are good, women should vote.
Charles Bott smiles with smug satisfaction. And smug, it's an adjective that means like overly confident about one's opinion, right? But Joe goes on.
Joe March, men do not vote because they are good, they vote because they are male. Women should be guaranteed the same constitutional rights as men, not because women are angels and men are animals, but because women, like men, are human beings and citizens of this country.
Bear hides a glad smile. McCracken lifts his glass to Joe. Joan McCracken, you should have been a lawyer, Miss March.
And Joe March, I should have been a great many things, Mr. Bott.
Approving laughter. Joe's grass is refilled, and the conversation continues, with Joe included as an equal. Friedrich Bhaer watches Joe, aware that he's falling in love.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So we have finished reading the scene. And before we comment it, because there are little things that we can comment about this, but let's say to people and refresh to people 3 words or expressions that we have been reading.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Well, we talk about.
I remind you the name of the character, Freddy.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about the pronunciation of the name of that character, Friedrich Bhaer, which actually is a German character. And so in German, it would be, I think, pronounced more like Friedrich Bhaer.
Well done. I love the way that you say it.
Yeah, thank you so
Very
much.
well. And
It's yeah,
yes,
no, it's quite a weird surname, I think. So yeah, I don't in German things work in a different way. I mean, it's not like in English that you can have a word which is pronounced like in a very random way, just by the way it's written, or two words that are written the same and pronounced differently. So in yeah, it's I mean, I think it's pronounced like that, and the name it would be Friedrich with this kind of sound, you know.
can you say it again?
Yeah, Friedrich Bhaer.
Very good. Just for people to repeat, because I work a lot with repetitions, especially with the words that are very complicated. Very good.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
any other word or expression that called your attention?
Yeah. Here, oh, we talked about yeah the words, the plural form of woman, which is women, and yeah, you have a, right an example about what I was just talking about. You know that the different ways to pronounce sounds in English,
Hmm.
and so the plural form is women, while the singular is woman. So the O sound is not there, despite you have the same letter, and we talk about that.
Yes.
And
And
so yeah,
any
and
other?
also yeah, civilizing,
Exactly.
uh, yeah, which happens to be in the same line. It was civilizing, uh, where you have three I's, the letter I, and with the third one is like you pronounce it in a different way with a different sound. Civilizing, like in civilization, right? And
Yeah, and we
also,
can also comment there. Sorry that I interrupt you, but we can also comment there that is an adjective because it ends in ing and is followed by a noun. I always say to people, especially if they are learning from the very beginning, to really make sure that they know what kind of word is that. Is that an adjective, a verb, an adverb? So civilizing ending in ing and followed by a noun, we know and we understand that that is an adjective.
yeah, yeah,
And
it's quite important.
civilizing, as you were commenting, civilizing. So it's I, and E. Civilizing.
Mhm.
Very good.
Yeah, very important. And also, we commented.
Mag.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is also an adjective, and it means that like when you're very confident about the way you think, right, or you're yeah confident about yourself, right, with in this
Mm.
case, yeah, it's about satisfaction.
Max.
So
Yes. Again, smag, as it is in front of a noun, we know that smag is an adjective. Yeah. We can comment now and enter into the details of what exactly is going on in this conversation, no? And how can we interpret them? And if there is anything that we can rescue from Louise May Alcott, the original author
also
of the novel, and read the novel, please. And then later, I'm telling you as well, but especially to the people that are learning and they want to understand literature in English, um, that if they enter into the detail of what's going on in that moment, we can also rescue some things that we can think about that and say, well, I think we are actually um, doing something wrong in our society in terms of this topic. What else can we say about this theme? Why do you think that Joe said I should have been a great many things, Mr. Watts?
that perhaps, I mean, that she didn't have the chances to, because of her circumstances and her context and being a woman, I guess
Yeah.
that she didn't have the chances to be all the things she, or that perhaps that she, because that's a quite, I mean, it has a lot of um, undertext, if you like, and a lot of things behind that. I mean, that sentence, like perhaps she's talking about her abilities and yeah, and that she didn't have the chances
To develop
to.
them. Yeah, yeah. But it's exactly what you are saying. Yeah, I also see it in that way. Um, and we have to remember that she is there in New York because she wants to publish her book and her stories, and she wants to become a writer. And she's kind of looking to find the right publishing house to become a writer. And it's
Mhm,
actually is going to be Friedrich Bhaer, the person that is going to help her throughout the process, as we will see at the end. So we have
mhm.
this with the reading. You have done it very well. You did it very well.
Thank you
And
so much.
yes, so we can maybe comment about the meeting, or something else you would like to say about you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. You mean the when we do the play, right? Uh, I'm a musician, so in this kind of meetings and the story and the novel or the script in this case, there are several meetings like this, or not like this, but there are also meetings, and where it is supposed to be music. I mean, to have musicians playing and music playing, so people dance, and so that's the part I'm gonna do with my violin, and I'm gonna play in this kind of scenes, and also when those moments in which Laurie and Joe, right? Am I right? Yeah.
So you're right.
Uh, when they are like out of the general uh, ball and dance and everything, and they are like dancing in a tavern in a more folk way, so to say.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, the violin is they probably or surely played the violins in that kind of ambiances and
yeah,
places.
yeah.
So the violin is a perfect instrument too.
It is. It is perfect because it's small. You can bring it, and it's kind of very easy to carry, and also it's beautiful the way that you play.
Oh,
Really,
thank you so much.
I really enjoy it a lot. So thank you for the reading. Tell me, or tell us where we can find you if anybody wants to hire your services in a private party or in some event, how they can contact you
Yeah, well, uh,
by email.
practically, yeah, by email or on social media as well. I mean, I have Instagram, and that's the one that I use the most. And actually, and actually, not to say that it's the only one that I use, but I mainly use it for this kind of things. I mean, just to promote or and to promote. It's
Yes, to invite people to the events that you organize, the concerts, and promote yourself very well. I
that's
wish I could follow you in Instagram, but I had an account and then I deleted, and now I don't know why, but this is still there. But I don't use it Instagram. I use only YouTube, LinkedIn, my website that is from Blogger. So, but I organize everything, and if you need that I write below in the description of these videos some link with your Instagram or with your also with your email. I will please also
My
put,
email.
and while I edit this video, I will play it there for you as well.
Right, so it would be great. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so then people can contact you, and that's the idea, no, to help each other, because it's what I think it's convenient, and
Yeah.
it's fantastic that they can access to your music, and I
Mhm.
really believe
Yeah.
we should be exposed more, all of us. We should be exposed more to music played live music.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we live a time in which that's very important. Uh, well, that's almost like a necessity, or perhaps something that's not being done so much. And it's great, especially during the lockdown, which, of course, for musicians was very complicated. But I do not complain so much because I mean, it was a different situation that I had, and actually, at the end of the lockdown during the pandemic, I could work as well in you playing concerts and with all the proper measures. And
Mm.
but yeah, it was quite complicated for the musicians, but still, I mean, with the streaming services and YouTube and those kind of things, you could have music, or people that didn't play any instruments or didn't, yeah, have the possibility to make music by
But
themselves.
not the same quality. It is not the same quality.
No, not
I
at all. Not at
my
all.
I just experienced the other day with you and with Angel Recas playing the piano the other day, and the other girl, Irene, I think it's called, uh,
Yeah, I do.
playing, and I was being transported. I don't know exactly what.
Yeah.
I was kind of being healed, like I was feeling, oh God, this is so beautiful. How much pleasure can I have just by
Yeah.
listening to music and being relaxed and not thinking, not, not thinking, just being there.
Yeah, actually, absolutely. Yeah, because it's not the same experience at all. I mean, when you listen to some recording, or that you listen to the same, even the same work, the same piece of music live, and it's a quite different experience. And also when it comes to the way you get like the sound of the instruments,
Mm.
because it physically changes as well. The overtones, and
Yeah,
it's just a different experience at all.
it's a
Yeah,
unique experience to be in front of you, listening to your music. So I really, really, really encourage people to come any Friday at any of these Fridays. I will be hiring you, well, hiring, inviting you
yeah,
to participate in this meeting of English through theater. And I like that the first day you come and we dance, we chat. We are not going to be reading any script. We will be dancing and chatting, and we will be organizing with you these three different kind of dancing that we could do with the scenes that you have mentioned before. No? The
yeah.
tavern, the dancing in the saloon,
Mhm.
uh, or the ball, as they say, and the moment where they are kind of freestyle, no, dancing freestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be fantastic. I think people should stop watching things on TV and on
Yeah.
YouTube channel and come and visit us to San Lorenzo de Escorial, and create this atmosphere that is a real presence and a real experience with people and music.
Yeah. So glad to participate.
Would you say? Do you want to say something else? Like any message, anything you like to say? Any family or relative that you have far away?
Not actually, just perhaps go to concerts. The thing changes. It's different, quite different experience, and yeah, more organic, if you like, more. It physically changes. I mean, or even, I mean, physically, scientifically, the way you listen to to the sound of live.
Mm.
It's not the same as just listening to recording. I mean, just
Yeah.
perhaps just to go to concerts, or yeah, everywhere that there's music live, and you will enjoy, and you will
Yeah.
discover something
Exactly.
something amazing.
Very good. Well, I guess that your neighbors are very happy with you. Because I have a
Yeah.
neighbor in front of my house, just door to door. I adore her, and her son plays very beautifully the piano. And so I have free concerts. When he's playing, I can hear him perfectly from my house, and I have free concerts, and I'm very happy to have actually him as a neighbor, because I believe this is a lucky experience nowadays.
Yeah, I lived in San Lorenzo as well, and my neighbors then told me that they enjoyed so much listening or hearing me play. Yeah, I currently have no neighbors. Well, actually, yeah, I have. There's some houses over there, but I live in the countryside, so it's a different thing. And I mean, it's great because I can play late at night if I want, if I need to.
Yes,
Yeah, but they have also told me the people that live like over there, like the surrounding houses, that they sometimes, especially in summer, when I open the window, they hear me and they
they
like it.
say thank you, thank you.
So
Yes, because that vibrates very high, the energy. You
yeah,
you make the atmosphere to be higher, and to experience the sound around you in another way. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. It's a different thing.
So we have finished. I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you for being here.
Been a pleasure, of course.
Bye.
Bye.